Hello, thank you for trusting me to read for you. So, I know that in your order you had the note that said that you were wondering about children. I actually don't read about children, but I can read about your connection and then also like if any wishes you have come true. And you can say which wish you want to have that be about. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle. I got a new setup with the camera, so I really like being able to just kind of have you see that everything's being shuffled before the reading. Okay, so what I want to know first of all is, are you ready for a new relationship? No, don't quit. So that's kind of where the energy that I feel is like in your request, and I'm kind of being specific with it because that's what you actually asked about. You said that you were being told that it was time to move on. So I do feel that you need to trust your intuition about the time when you are ready to move on, because I do see that there sometimes other people are uncomfortable with us being uncomfortable when we have loss. And so they just want us to be happy. And sometimes people think that happiness is like, oh, well, when you get all of these things you want, you're going to be happy. But happy actually comes before you get all the things that you want. So I don't see that right now you're currently ready for a relationship. So let's find out what you need to do to be ready for a relationship. So this is showing as the reverse 10 of Pentacles. I feel that you are really lonely. So what that is meaning to me is that you're not necessarily in a place where you're needing romance at this time, but I feel that opening yourself up for other like friendships and acquaintances, like give yourself a chance to ease back into it. You are still very connected to your fiance that you lost. And energetically, I don't feel that at this time, if you were to move forward and, try to start with something with someone, that it would be as comfortable for you as you want. So let's look at when you're ready, what is one of the characteristics that the person has? You know what? I hadn't said the question yet. When you're ready, what is one of the characteristics that the person has? They're going to be really talkative. Now, this does not show as the reverse King of Cups because we were asking for the characteristic part of the deck. This is showing up. I feel that you are concerned about this. You want to protect yourself. But mostly, I feel that this card is showing that the person is talkative. Another characteristic is on this card is that they are loyal as well. So let's ask, oops, let's myself up here. Let's ask, is there someone in the future? No, it says time to rest, not act. This is the reverse Five of Swords. I feel that you are really having a difficult time finding peace. I feel that the relationship that you had with your fiance that passed really has this energy of like the process is not complete. Like there's some part of the grieving process that you have not had an opportunity to complete yet. Grieving during this time has been a little bit difficult. We have, as humans, we need to have a goodbye process, and I feel that you're still in that process. Now, I have studied a lot of grief. I feel like it's something that we as humans, it's vital to understand it. So there may not come a point when you move forward. Like you're living, you're moving forward as far as like doing the things you need to do in your physical life with your physical body. But I don't feel that there's a really tight connection in your heart that is going to be really difficult for you to let go of. Even as I said that, I could almost feel your spirit being like, I don't want to let go of it. So that's kind of where I feel like we're kind of reverberating here, okay? So let me take a moment and just kind of, so it almost feels like I'm going to describe how I'm feeling and just to help you know that I'm kind of tuning into where we are, okay? What it feels like to me is perfect example. Wow, my guys just gave me this. Okay, when I was a little girl, I had this Care Bear that someone had made for me. And it was like they had knitted it. And, that was very thoughtful. That was very nice. But I would go to this friend's house and she had the actual Care Bear. And it was soft and it was just real and the eyes looked normal. And it was what I really wanted. And so mine felt, I mean, it was literally an imitation knockoff. And I feel that you are so currently in love with the love that you had with that person that I need you to know something that's been rolling around in your head. You're never going to replace that, which you don't want to. And I feel like sometimes you feel that sometimes people are asking you to find a replacement. Like, hurry up and get happy and be in a relationship again. But that's not what your heart is looking for. You and your ex fiance, there's not just a loss of like grief that you feel for the loss of the person. There's also grief that you're experiencing for the plans you had. Even the title of fiance is a word that has the energy of future of something that we're doing together. Does that make sense? I feel like um maybe even shifting the energy gently to like my best friend or because I feel like what's happening when you're saying my fiance, it is in the present tense. A lot of times when dealing with grief, the way we talk about the person can also help us through the grief process. So if you're finding yourself using verbs that are in the present tense, so it will sound like, yes, he is such a great person, instead of he was such a great person. And saying, my best friend passed away. I know that you want to hold on to this life that you wanted to create with this person. And I feel that you, more than romance, and I know that you wanted a romance reading, but really, I feel that this grieving process and knowing what's actually happening is the only way that you will clear a path for a relationship. So it's crazy because I don't really feel that you want another relationship right now. I feel that there's a part of you that's almost like, well, this is the expectation. I should, get over it and move on. Like, it is okay for you to mourn this loss for years. It's okay. Like, I don't feel like you've heard that yet, that it's okay to be all the emotions for losing your soulmate. This, I don't use that term very often because I don't like people to have a label because it gives them stress, but you and this person are still connected at your soul. And so that's why it just feels like, how come I can't move on? You're not supposed to yet. So I don't see right now it was saying no time to rest, not act. To be honest with you, what I kind of feel is there's a part of your soul that's like almost terrified to move on because that means that it's really over. So I know it's difficult and I don't feel that you need to force yourself to hurry or do anything. It is okay for you to mourn the loss of your best friend, soulmate, life partner, person who you saw all these things happening with that don't happen now. So I know I kind of didn't well, the card said no, not me. So, okay, there we go. I just made myself not feel bad. But really, I want you to know that there are people who have gone through great grief. Like when I say great, I mean like big, grand, like huge grief. And you have. And it is okay and perfectly acceptable for it to take a long time to heal. It's kind of like the difference between getting a hangnail and getting your finger cut off. One's going to just naturally take more. This isn't just a breakup. This is the energy of a loss, like a breakup of the hope that you had for the relationship, but also the physical loss of the person. So I feel that it will kind of help you maybe to differentiate a little bit between, what you're grieving. But other people may watch this and feel like I'm giving you information that's not hopeful, but I feel that this is hopeful for you. I've read for you before, so I also am familiar with the energy of him as well. And you're doing a really good job and you're not alone. And people who are around you that, they might think, oh, well, it'll feel better if you move forward and you get married and you do another thing but your soul is just not ready for it yet, friend. It doesn't mean that will never happen, but currently I don't see it happening like right away. I do believe that things will get better with your heartache, but I feel that if you try to work on a relationship right now with a person, or even, in a couple of years, or it might even be a couple of years, you may just really struggle with this is that imitation Care Bear. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for trusting me to read for you. And I know that this is what you need, but I know that it's also really difficult and emotional. So thank you for trusting me to give you the information that came out to us today.